here we go. It's 11 o'clock on July 15th, 11 a.m., leaving Urbana. What an interesting July we're having. Very active for severe weather across the Midwest. This feels about like the most legitimate storm chasing day that I've had, where I think that I've got a reasonable chance at a sustained supercell with the potential for a tornado that I can remember since May. We've got an MCV from overnight convection out in Kansas and Missouri. Really intense thunderstorm activity there overnight. We've got plenty of instability. You know, it's mid-July, it's hot and muggy. Temperatures in the target area will be in the lower 90s, dew points in the mid 70s. So assuming we don't get some rogue storm to blow up there and contaminate the environment, we're looking at a rather volatile environment with quite a bit of instability, and then really unseasonally strong wind fields there associated with this MCV pushing in. Real strong surface winds in the target area there, probably out of the southeast, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Good little wave coming in at 700 millibars. We got winds around 50 knots right there, up to 500 millibars. That's a lot for July with a July warm sector. Now the caveat being it's a real saturated profile. You don't have an EML coming in from the plains so much, so there's not much of a cap, and there's a ton of moisture in the environment. So once thunderstorms begin to go up, there's always the chance that it could grow upscale quickly into a bow echo, and it likely will grow upscale into a bow echo by the time we get to late evening. But what would be really interesting from a storm chasing or photography standpoint would be the potential there that we could get a couple of hours of discrete supercells with favorable wind environment there, favorable wind fields for a couple of tornadoes. So my plan is to head down Interstate 72, basically until I don't need to head down Interstate 72 any longer. My target area has kind of been Carrollton, Illinois, up to Jacksonville, over towards Quincy, maybe as far south as St. Louis, but lately the trend has been to kind of focus the best environment, a small, focused environment where tornadoes may be favored here for a couple of hours, right around Interstate 72. So I took one more look at things in the driveway before I pulled out, and I said, you know what, I don't even need to look at this right now, because all I got to do is drive down Interstate 72 for a couple of hours here, and by around 2 or 3 p.m., honestly, we may be going. So planning on meeting up with Colin Davis in that area, right around Pittsfield. I have AT&T for network. He's got Verizon. That's a pretty well-known Verizon data hole, so I should be okay as far as getting data, radar imagery while we're out in the field chasing, but it may be problematic for him. So if we can stay together and stay in contact through ham radio, we might make a better team with 4 eyes and 2 different data service providers out there. So potentially a very interesting day. I do think that there's a decent chance we'll see a pretty cool supercell today. I think there's a fair chance we'll see a tornado today. You know, what could go wrong? Storms could be high precipitation, a lot of moisture. I think the wind fields might compensate for that, though. I think that this strong wave here in the mid-levels may give us some classic supercells. Storms could grow upscale quickly into a solid line or a bow echo. That would quickly reduce the likelihood that we're going to see a visible tornado. The severe weather threat would still be there, and that would just transition to more of a high-end wind damage threat, which could be exciting, but that's the kind of thing I like in a July after an active April, May, and June, where, you know, maybe I've documented a visible photogenic tornado or 2 already. But at any rate, it looks like an active severe weather day from the Mississippi River, really eastern Missouri, to the Mississippi River, all the way back here towards Champaign-Urbana, where it may be a late evening wind damage threat. So onward we go. So I'm sitting off Highway 108, just off the junction of Highway 108 and 67 on the west side of Carrollton, Illinois. I found a little spot next to an abandoned house on a gravel road here that should be quiet enough to sit on for the next potentially a couple hours at the most. Jinx. Hopefully for just an hour or two. Colin's gonna meet me here. I think he's maybe 10 minutes behind me. And then I think we're in a good spot here. We're right on the warm front, the outflow reinforced warm front. The initiating line, where I think storms are gonna form, is probably 100 miles off to our west, maybe 50 to 100 miles to our west. Storms should go up really close to the Mississippi and Illinois River. Warm front, again, right through this region, so assuming we get some discrete storms, or at least one, I do still like our chances here for a couple hours of potential supercell thunderstorm observation, and still looks like maybe the potential for a few tornadoes. Looks like the Storm Prediction Center is continuing to monitor the situation. They just issued a mesoscale discussion for the region, and it looks like they're considering issuing a tornado watch for this location. So we are just sitting southwest of Carrollton on the west side of Carrollton, still on that little gravel road. And I am either holding Colin hostage from tornadoes in Missouri or saving us for the tornadoes here in southwest Illinois. There's a couple little cells going up on the other side of the river. Colin's expressed some interest in those. I agree. My concern is we've got a river crossing to the north, a river crossing to the south, so we could get over that, take a quick peek, play with the storms for a minute. Maybe it produces its only tornado and it's extremely worth that decision. But if it doesn't, and then you suddenly have to go back south, get on the river crossing, get back on the position of the storm. I've been burned several times with leaving storms for a minute and missing, the tornado of the day. So based on the best environment, nosing right where we are right now, I'm gonna sit here. We got some other friends showing up. All right, so got a convoy behind me. Got Colin, got Richard Sample, we got Winston Wells. The Illinois Dream Team out here in Carrollton. We are gonna creep back east down Highway 108. We're in a pretty good spot. We just had a tower going up, a cumulus. Before there was any rain coming out of it, that thing spat out a cloud to ground lightning bolt. It immediately popped up on radar. It's maybe 5 minutes to the south. I can see the dark base now starting to develop. And it's got the right look on radar. It's in the exact spot we want it to be, right here on the warm front. So that's why we're gonna get east just a little bit, because we targeted almost perfectly. The storm of the day potentially is going up right over us, but we need to keep it in place, so we're gonna migrate eastward with it. This feels good. Give me just a sec. My ham radio. All right, I thought I had 5 seconds to get the ham radio attached here without getting struck by lightning. The storm is going up very fast. All right, KC9 HNB is now mobile and broadcasting. We're in the forward flank downdraft region of this developing cell, out ahead of the line. Incredible staccato lightning barrage here. Now that I'm filming, it's gonna wrap up, I'm sure, but bang, 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 lightning bolts. There's one. Boom. East down 108 to Highway 267, where I'm going to stop and get a look at the base here. From the very beginning, this storm seemed angry. Staccato lightning struck every tall object near us as it grew, a sign of a powerful updraft. It just seemed to me that one way or another, the storm had something it needed to get out of its system.
Yeah, let's get its act together.
Yeah, real fast. All right, I might tripod out there for a second.
Safe.
This lightning is incredible.
So my vote would be go east on 108. We've got about 6 miles, and you've got 111 north. It also has an easterly component to it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the plan here.
But there's also, I mean, there are also decent roads here too.
Give me just a second though, that base just cleared out once again. I'm feeling compelled to sit here for just another minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, losing it.
I would say I'm going to go north like a mile maybe, or a little less, to that east-west out of Fayette.
Yeah, let's do that.
Go ahead when you're ready.
Kind of near Carrollton, Illinois, looking southwest at a non-discernible base. We've had merger after merger with these storms here. We just had one more. It does look like it's got a shot here to ramp back up. And just stop for a look at the base though, and you don't see hardly anything. I think part of that is that we're a little bit too far to the north. It does look like maybe a wall cloud trying to emerge down here, but not the best look it's had so far today. So the storm trying again. We do have a base now.
I mean, we can sit and chill kind of at this intersection up here before we decide to bail east. I mean, we should have time at decision.
Yeah, so I'll just go turn around at this farmstead, I think. That makes me feel a bit better. After that initial stop to look at our storm, I was never comfortable stepping outside of the vehicle again until the chase was over, and that decision was quickly validated as we sat along Highway 108 near Greenfield. think we have a tornado up here. This is a bit of a turning point in the chase here. We've just witnessed this brief tornado by Greenfield. We lost the base in the rain. Now we're seeing this kind of scuddy, used-to-be area passing overhead, but it still had some broad rotation in it, so we're turning around and watching that, but quickly transitioning out of tornado observation mode and into let's just stay ahead of this and keep the storms in play mode. There was nothing that really suggested this storm had any real hope of producing a tornado again anytime soon in its life, but we figured might as well drift along with it. And sure enough, look at the radar here. Just a complete blob of rain. It just seems as if there's no hope here for observing anything as far as a visible, discrete supercell goes. Not 10 or 15 minutes later, though, something interesting happened. We're continuing east with the storm. I'm starting to see cloud features again with the updraft base. We're looking at the radar here, and you can see on the last few scans, the area just to the south and east of our storm begin to clear out. You can even see a hook echo reappear on the base reflectivity image, and as we flipped it over and look at the velocity, there's still a subtle couplet there, a subtle area of rotation, so we're just going to drift along with this as long as it's there, as long as the storm is rotating. We're going to just stay with it. Now we're joking about the corn blocking the view here. You can see this big blocky lowering. There's a view, and you can kind of see to the left side there, that area sticking out. That's where you've got the rear flank downdraft kind of curling in around here, and you're starting to get an area of interest beginning to wrap up. Looks like maybe we'll get a brief tornado out of this. Back up. Large tornado. This is a strong tornado. tornado south of Divernon. Oh my God. Oh boy. Oh my God. Let me just go up a little bit more right here, right here.
I'd say continue. I think we can stay with this thing.
Yeah, no, I just had all kinds of problems. I'm good now.
Now this supercell was rather classic in its appearance early on, but it had transitioned to a more rainy, tropical looking supercell, so low cloud bases made this tornado actually appear slightly bigger than it really was, even though at its widest I'd probably still estimate it around 200 to 300 yards wide. But as it looked bigger than it was, it also looked a little further away than it really was. I recognized this, and that's why I was quick to put some space between us and this tornado as it crossed only about a quarter of a mile up the road in front of us.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Oh my God. Let's go a little bit more right here, right here. I'm always going to regret letting the V word out of my mouth there, violent tornado.
Never attempt to rate a tornado while it's in progress. The quick development of this tornado, the rather unexpected nature, and the size of it, along with those horizontal tubes, already had me a bit spooked, and so when I saw some debris flying in the air, I lost control for a bit there and tried to rate that tornado while it was in progress. Now, this may have been a strong tornado given its strong rotational wind speeds, but it stayed over the open country for about its entire lifespan. That debris that I saw, I believe, just came from a grain bin or a shed, because otherwise this tornado was extremely well behaved, staying over open country, and will likely go down as an EF0 because of that.
That's 523. Tornado continues in the field just to our north-northeast. Between Farmersville and Divernon. I'd say continue. I think we can stay with this thing.
Yeah, no, I just had all kinds of problems. I'm good now.
We're in Pawnee, Illinois. Still on this storm. It's real rainy, but still got a couplet on it. So we're gonna keep east of it as long as it's gonna be doing this. We got sirens sounding in Pawnee. That large tornado by Divernon has lifted at this point, but the area of interest remains.
The supercell did reorganize one more time near Edinburgh, producing this kind of scuddy wall cloud with a little brief funnel. But that was really it. It wound itself up for 15 or 20 minutes of tornado action and went right back to being kind of a rainy mess.
Creeping north. Wall cloud does continue on the storm. The wall cloud's passing kind of over Edinburgh, Illinois right now, and we're just east of that. It's still really rainy. We're still doing wall cloud things. All right, so we're near Mount Auburn, Illinois.
I'm thinking maybe this would be a little more interesting than it actually is.
Yeah, it's a base, but it doesn't look like it has that much juice to work with right now, I guess.
I mean, I'm surprised it's had as much as it's had.
So we're by Mechanicsburg. That was a tornado over by Divernon. That tornado formed so fast. Yeah, that was fun though.
Yeah, definitely a great tornado. Something I won't forget for a while.
Cool. All right, you're off the hook.
It wants to be really cool light. It's just not.
I know. We were hoping for a good sunset. All right.
On top.
Safe travels.
Likewise.
Already buckled in. Okay. Colin's doing his thing. We're gonna get out of here.
Hey.
Hey. See ya. We have fun. It's been a hard year. Today was refreshing. It started hard. Boy, did today not seem like it was going anywhere for a minute there. It seemed like it was definitely going somewhere, and then like it really was not going somewhere. Colin and I were basically in chase over mode. I had fully gone into, I'm just gonna get out ahead of it and maybe get a shelf cloud, but I needed to do severe weather coverage back closer to home. My priority, you know, is to get tornado opportunities, but I didn't think it was gonna happen today. Our storm became an absolute rainy mess. Complete just blob. No features, no base. We kept after it. We got back east of the storm and it cleared out. It cleared out so much that we got a nice walk.
Big limb down up here if you're still having to be on the radio on Mound Road at that like churchy thing back there.
Say a big tree limb.
Yeah, gigantic one.
That's pretty interesting. I wonder what that's about.
Is it from Saturday?
Oh, you know what? They got blasted on Saturday night.
Yeah, then that's probably what it was.
Yeah, I remember when I was watching the line come into Champaign, all the velocity excitement was right over Decatur. But anyway, that storm,
Well, they forgot to pick up their tree.
boy, we got a base, we got a wall cloud. I started thinking this looks interesting. Started to wrap up and we got that little, the little area started. I don't even remember what it looked like because it got intense so fast. I thought we were gonna see a brief touchdown still, even when it was wrapping up. The radar presentation was hilarious. That storm looked terrible. What an experience.
Good tornado of the day, by the way.
That's the way you storm chase. To quote Reed Timmer, I can end the 2020 storm observation season very content. You know, I had told you or had been explaining in previous videos, I had a lot of fun in 2020, just seeing storms locally, getting after, borderline severe storms in my backyard like I used to do when I was a kid. But it's always nice to just get that tornado, that one that defines the year. And that was it. It took all the way to mid-July, but that was it. So, I'm gonna drive home. The cool thing is this took us right to Decatur. Colin and I just grabbed a couple steak burritos in lieu of not being able to get an actual steak right now with, COVID-19 being what it is still. We're not gonna be sitting down at a steakhouse at any point today, but I got a steak burrito. I got a nice cold Coke, and I'm gonna grill a steak tomorrow. And I'll share it with my wife and kid, and it'll be that much more enjoyable. It was actually kind of fun. They checked in on me just like 15 minutes after the tornado lifted. Just calling to check on me. They were probably having dinner themselves. I had to tell them that I'd seen a ridiculous tornado. All right, so from Decatur, it'll just take me about 45 minutes to get back home to Champaign-Urbana, and I will be back home by 9:30. That's the kind of storm chasing day you really look forward to. Wake up at home, had lunch at home, drove a few hours, saw some best friends, witnessed a tornado with my best friend, and I'll be home at a reasonable hour, so I won't have to sleepwalk through work tomorrow. 43 miles. The light is really weird. We were thinking we might get like crazy sunset, crazy orange light coming in behind the storms, but there's clouds that go all the way back to the Mississippi River. So we've got this weird, like, yellow-orange hue to the sky because we're getting some sunlight from the sunset filtering in here. The sun's going down right now, actually, 8:26 p.m. Alright. I'm gonna zone out, I'm gonna put some music on, and I'm gonna let Interstate 72 take me home. What a fun day. You know what makes it even better? As far as I know, that tornado didn't hit anything. I saw a couple pieces of debris flying around. Didn't look like enough to be a home or something substantial. We'll have to see, but strong tornado that I mostly saw harmlessly making its way through the fields.